What's good? What's good? It's the one and only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez in the news as Teofimo Lopez is calling out Tank Davis, trying to put the pressure on Tank Davis. All right, now this is a fight that I've always liked. I've always wanted this fight at 135. I always felt like Tank and Teo were the two top guys at that time. And even now, I've always said I feel like Tank would beat all of these dudes, but his biggest competition would be Teofimo Lopez. And I know that Teofimo hasn't really been looking good recently, but I like this fight though. I really do. And I mean, it's a possible fight that can happen. So let me go ahead and get into the article, and then I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this particular matchup. All right, so shout out to Boxing News 24. It says Teofimo Lopez wants Gervonta Tank Davis fight in December. It says Teofimo Lopez showed up for a fight at the weigh-in for Canelo versus Berlanga to use the timeline to call out Gervonta Tank Davis and other notable fighters that he has little chance of ever fighting. Teofimo is real thirsty. Tank Davis isn't going to fight Teo because they are too far apart in weight. No, they're not. They're just 5 pounds apart. Like, I don't get that. They're too far apart in weight, and he's got more popular fighters available. Teofimo has not performed well in his recent fights against Steve Claggett and Jermaine Ortiz, Sandor Martin, or Pedro Campa. The WBO light welterweight champion Teofimo, who has a record of 21-1 with 13 knockouts, volunteered to be the WBA regular lightweight champion. Gervonta's next opponent. Gervonta's next opponent for December 14th. Teofimo's approach in calling Tank sounded like he was begging him for a payday. It's not a good look for him career-wise. Oh shit, I just lost where I was at. Okay, here we go. This is about money for Teo because he rehydrates to nearly 160 pounds for his fights at 140, and he doesn't belong fighting anyone at 135. If Teofimo wants to test himself again at lightweight, he should prove himself by fighting Williams Zepeda fights at 130 though, doesn't? I mean at 135 as well, right? That don't make sense. Because don't Williams Zepeda fight at 135 or am I tripping? Because if he's too far away for Tank Davis, how the hell are you trying to say that he should fight Williams Zepeda then? That's kind of weird. But okay. Or Andy Cruz. It's unclear why Teofimo waited this long to call him out. He should have done that after Vasily Lomachenko announced that he was taking the remainder of the year off, and it wouldn't be available to fight Tank November or December. According to promoter Leonard Ellaby, Tank is already considering 2 fighters next. One is rumored Jose Valenzuela, who recently dethroned WBA light welterweight champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz on August 3rd. Hey Tank, give me a fight, brother. He ain't fighting. I ain't fighting. What's up? I don't like people saying I'm ducking somebody. Why do I beat him? Because I'm the takeover. That's why I said Lomachenko calling out Tank. Teofimo is too big to return to lightweight to fight Tank. He would probably try for the money, but he would be in bad shape if he didn't make weight. If Tank were to fight Teofimo, he'd likely insist on rehydration clause to ensure Teofimo doesn't balloon up to middleweight. All right, so let's talk about it. All right, so I mean, listen. I think that this is a very interesting matchup. These two have history as far as sparring each other or whatnot. I like this fight. I do. I think that Teofimo is heavy-handed in both hands. He has a hard time against guys that are movers or that are boxers. Teofimo can box, but Teofimo is flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? He's not one that's on his toes or whatnot. Tank Davis, obviously we know what he does, but Tank Davis also is not a very active fighter. Meaning, not as far as like the fights he has, but I'm talking about he doesn't throw a lot of punches. Tank will sit there and wait for an opportunity to present himself, and then of course once that opportunity comes, then boom, here comes here it comes, but I do like this fight a lot, man. Now Teofimo, who did Teofimo last fight? Was it that Clacky dude? I think it was that Clacky dude. But he hasn't been in there with any big names since I would say Josh Taylor, a fight that he looked absolutely superb in. And who knows, maybe Teofimo is one. Well, first of all, let me say this too. I don't like Teofimo's dad. I think his dad is delusional. I briefly saw well, I'll speak on that on a different time. But anyways, I think his dad is delusional. But Teofimo, he seems to be one of those guys that I guess fights to the level of his opposition. I think Danny Jacobs was like that too. Like Danny Jacobs looked even though he lost this fight, he looked very good in this fight against Triple G, and virtually hadn't really looked all that good since. He did look. He had decent moments with Canelo, but you know what I'm saying? Like he hadn't really looked good since with those two fights or whatnot. But where Teofimo, he hadn't, he looked good against Josh Taylor, ain't looked good, ain't really looked that good since. He looked good against Lomachenko, and I think that was his like last best performance until Josh Taylor, maybe. I don't know, but it's just Teofimo has to maybe he just needs that right person for motivation or whatnot. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to see Teofimo in there with a big name or with a good opponent. Not these guys that we've never heard of before. I just feel like Teofimo is. I would love to see him. I really wanted to see him fight Arnold Barboza at one point. I thought Arnold Barboza lost the last fight that I saw. I don't know if that was his last fight, but it was the last fight that I saw him. Man, whose fight was he fighting on the undercard? It was a split decision on undercard matchup. I cannot think of who it was. Damn, I can't think of who it was. But it was on the undercard of somebody's fight, and he won by split decision. But I he didn't look impressive at all. But it's many people for Teofimo to fight or whatnot. Now I doubt that he gets a fight with Tank Davis. Just being honest, it's possible. Tank did go up to 140 to get a title, not a secondary title against Mario Barrios. So it's definitely possible for that fight to happen. But I doubt that fight happens next or whatnot. At least next. Teofimo has been doing a lot of calling. He's been calling out Terence Crawford, and that's why I feel like it's more so like this, bro. Because I was watching the homie Punch Drunk. Shout out to Punch Drunk. Good guy, very good guy, whatnot. I was watching his video or his live with Teofimo and Teofimo Senior or whatnot, and they was basically saying like, Punch was saying like how, people back in the day when Roberto Duran, he called out the likes of Tommy Hearns, moved up and fought him, and everybody was with it. Shane Mosley did that with Oscar De La Hoya, and Manny Pacquiao did as well. But like the thing about that is, man, the only difference is like, for one, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, it's more so like this. Like, I just feel like I feel like Terence Crawford would be moving backwards fighting Teofimo. Like, I just personally, I don't see what that fight does, bro. I don't see, like, I would like for Terence Crawford to, and maybe, and this could be just because I would like Terence Crawford to become undisputed at 154. But like, honestly speaking, it's not like Teofimo is just a huge name like how Roberto Duran was, or even how Shane Mosley was. Like, he hadn't accomplished what those guys accomplished. And I'm so sick and tired of Teofimo Senior saying that we're wrong for giving Terence Crawford the first the crown of being the first two-division male champion. Two-division undisputed male champion. Like, bro, yes, you beat Josh Taylor, but Josh Taylor, at the time that you beat him, did not have all the belts, brother. Like, you gotta face that. He did not have all the belts. He only had the WBO title, which is why you are only the WBO champ. So no, you are not undisputed, my guy. It just is what it is. You might not like it, but it is what it is. And you were not undisputed at 135 either, bro. Whether you want to admit it or not, you weren't undisputed, bro. Why? Because the fact that I can dispute it, the fact that I can dispute it just like obliterates all those claims. But secondly, you have Devin Haney, who had the WBC. You had the quote-unquote franchise status, and Mauricio Sulaiman himself said that the status is not a title. It's nothing that you can pass down or be passed around. Like, so get out of here, bro. You are not undisputed. You were unified, and you're a champ at 140. A wonderful champ at that. But anyways, man, I don't think that he should be calling out Terence Crawford. I would much rather him fight Tank Davis. I think that's a fight that does something and means something for both fighters. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?